Final report released. The board investigating the death of Baltimore detective Sean Suter reveals its findings.
The shocking assessment and new details unveiled about the case.
Hello, everyone. I'm Vic Carter.
And I'm Mary Bubala. Well, the long-awaited report on the death of a Baltimore City police detective is out.
After months of investigating, an independent review board concludes Detective Sean Suter committed suicide.
WJZ is live. Ava Joy Burnett with more on what the report reveals. Ava Joy?
Well, Mary, Detective Sean Suter was shot and killed last November, and the medical examiner's office said this was a homicide. But today, an independent review board ruled otherwise. It's a shocking conclusion revealed in this 127-page report. After months of investigating, an independent review board concluded that based upon the totality of the evidence, Detective Suter intentionally took his own life with a service weapon. The board is made up of former law enforcement and legal professionals. And they drew this conclusion based on evidence that, quote, Suter's DNA was found inside the barrel of Suter's Glock and on its surface, meaning that Suter's weapon fired that fatal bullet. Blood spatter was found on the inside of Suter's right dress shirt cuff, and there were no defensive wounds, meaning he was not trying to fight off anyone. Suter was shot on Bennett Place last November, one day before he was set to testify in a federal case against fellow officers. The incident shut down the Harlem Park neighborhood as detectives looked for a suspect who was never found. The report blasted Kevin Davis, saying the former commissioner repeatedly shared unverified and ultimately inaccurate information with the public, despite evidence suggesting that Suter took his own life. For the first time, the public is seeing this video. The independent review board says that's Sean Suter pacing behind a white vehicle. They believe the moment he was out of his partner's sight, he took the opportunity to dart out of the camera's view and pull the trigger behind his right ear. The board said this moment in the grainy video shows his partner rushing out and searching for a suspect. Within minutes, the street is flooded with flashing lights for an officer down. The state's medical examiner's office previously ruled Suter's death a homicide, a direct contrast to the recent findings. The FBI rejected a request to investigate this case, so Baltimore police hired this outside board. Criminologist Jeffrey Ian Ross believes the outcome will only fuel more doubt.
I think the hope with this report and the findings of the report was that it would lead to some sort of closure and might even improve, police-community relations. But I think that it's only going to add fuel to the fire.
And again, Detective Sean Suter was set to testify the day after he was shot. According to the independent review board, he repeatedly refused to pick up calls from his attorney on the day of the shooting. Live tonight, Ava Joy Burnett for WJZ.
The report also calls out the Baltimore City Police Department for how it handled the investigation.
The board found the crime scene logs were not maintained properly. BPD failed to record where the fatal bullet was found and the precise reasons why the particular search was undertaken. BPD could not produce photographs of the blood spatter pattern on Detective Suter's right shirt sleeve cuff. An IRB member requested the retrieval of the clothes and then had photographs taken of the sleeve. It goes on to criticize then-Commissioner Kevin Davis, stating, the commissioner provided inaccurate information on multiple occasions, which must be avoided in the future. The review board made a number of recommendations to the department, and in conclusion writes, without strong leadership to model and enforce a new culture of compliance, BPD will continue to be plagued by credibility issues and operational missteps.
WJZ reached out to Baltimore police, but they declined to comment about the report. The department, along with members of the independent review board, are set to hold a news conference tomorrow morning at 11.